These are the 7 email automations that make money for your Shopify store without needing your attention. Set them up once and they recover lost sales, turn first-time buyers into repeat customers, and bring back customers you thought were gone, all automatically. Most stores have 2 or 3 of these. The stores quietly winning have all 7. The welcome flow is the first email your store sends to someone who signed up but has not bought yet. The moment right after the sign up is the highest intent window you will ever get from that person. They are warm, they are curious, and they are waiting. Most stores send one email, a discount, a welcome to the family headline, and that's it. What actually works is a short sequence, usually 3 emails, where each one has a specific job. The first email goes out immediately. Its only job is to convert the sign up into a purchase. You deliver the discount you promised, show your best products, and make it that simple for them to buy. No long brand stories here, those come later. Right now the customer is still in the decision mode and you want to catch them there. The second email goes out a day or 2 later. Now you build familiarity. Why does your product exist? What makes it different? Maybe a review or 2. This one is not trying to sell directly. It's reducing the hesitation that stopped them from buying after the email number 1. Then the third email is the closer. The discount is expiring, or you surface a bestseller they have not seen yet. It exists because some people just need one more nudge, and without this email you never give it to them. Stores running a 3 email welcome sequence instead of a single email see up to 51% more revenue from that flow alone, according to benchmark data. One email captures the easy buyers, the sequence captures everyone else. Now if you want to follow along in this video, I'm going to use Omnisend. Omnisend has a free tier that you can start with and you can set your email marketing. And of course, if you want to upgrade, I'm going to drop a discount for you as well. The discount code is SHOPIO, so you can use it when you subscribe to Omnisend. So if you want 30% off, look in the description below. And let me show you how easily you can create a welcome flow inside Omnisend. All you have to do from the dashboard is to go to automations, and in here you're going to explore the templates, and what we need is a welcome flow. You're going to have all the filters on the left there. So I'm going to go to welcome and I'm going to select this first one. We're going to need the first email to be sent immediately. We can push here for a purchase and we can offer a discount, or we can show our best sellers. This Omnisend template already has all of that. So this is how people get inside this flow. Then after 1 minute, we're going to send this message. We are welcoming them and we are offering them a discount. So we are pushing for a sale. Then after this message, we're going to wait for 1 day. So we are now at stage 2. We're gonna try to build trust. You want to include in there all the elements that will create trust for the customer. After this email, we're gonna wait 4 days and then we're gonna send another email, final push, a final try to close this sale. It can include messages like this discount will expire soon and so on, so that customers can feel that FOMO. Once you do that, you can just start workflow and that's it. Now that covers people who signed up but never started buying. What about someone who went all the way to checkout, typed their address, and then just closed the tab? The abandoned checkout flow targets the highest intent person on your entire list. Someone who picked the product, went through the cart, typed their name and their address, and then just stopped. That is not a cold lead. That is a buyer who got interrupted or hesitated at the last second, and your job is to bring them back before they forget. The first email goes out within an hour, not tomorrow, within an hour. The window is short because this person is still warm. This email does one thing, it removes friction. The second email goes out 24 hours later. By now the easy recoveries already came back. The one still sitting needs something more. This is where you handle objections without knowing what they are. Shipping policy, return guarantee, a review or 2. You are not pushing harder. You are reducing the reasons they stopped. The third email, if you send one, is the closer. You can send that 48 to 72 hours later. This is where a discount makes sense if you use one because you already tried without it. Sending a discount in email number 1 just trains people to abandon their carts on purpose. Data consistently shows that abandoned checkout flows generate the highest revenue per recipient of any automated flow, and most stores either skip this entirely or send one generic email and call it done. Now let's set an abandoned checkout flow. To do that, you're going to go to create flow, to cart abandonment, and you're going to have your starting point right over here, abandoned checkout. In this first email, we don't want to offer a discount yet because this will encourage customers to just abandon their carts. We just want to remind them of the checkout that they've just abandoned, and we want to remove friction. You can change its layout to achieve that. Then 24 hours later, you want to send another email. This one is again to try and remove hesitation, try to alleviate the doubts the customers feel. And you can do that by showing information about shipping, returns, reviews, and so on. I'm going to change this 11 hours into 24. And I'm going to change the content in this email to reflect what we just talked about. Now, after another 48 hours, I'm going to send another email. So I'm going to change this to 48. We know that the customer tried to check out at a certain hour, and we want to be sending these emails at around the same time. And inside that email, we may want to offer them something, maybe offer them a discount code and so on. Once that's done, I'm going to just start workflow, and this workflow will do its job. And the cool thing that Omnisend does right now is that they integrated their platform with ChatGPT, and you can actually go inside ChatGPT and ask it for advice based on your real numbers. If you want to try that out, you just have to go to GPT, and inside settings, you're going to then have apps right here. I can go and add more. I can search for Omni and I can find it there. I can just install it. And whenever I go to a new chat, I can just click on this plus here and go to more and select Omnisend. And then I can just type a question in. Like, for example, what type of campaign was more profitable for me in the past 6 months? And now GPT will access the data from the app and is going to give me real information from my dashboard. Normally, I would just have to go here and go to reports and then sales or campaigns, and I'll have to sort through numbers or figures in here to figure out what's going on. But with this method, I can just ask ChatGPT. It's going to pull my real data in here, focused on what I've actually asked for. And I don't have to go and sort through dashboards anymore. I can understand everything better, and I can actually ask GPT to create campaigns for me or write copy and so on. Checkout abandonment catches people who got the furthest, but there is a whole group who dropped out one step earlier, and they need a different approach altogether. The abandoned cart flow is one step behind the checkout flow. Same idea, earlier exit. Someone added a product, showed real interest, and then left without even starting the checkout. They are not as far along, but they are still worth going after. The first email goes out within a few hours. His job is a simple, clean reminder. Did you leave something behind? Here is the link. That's it. No pressure, no discount. The reason you hold back on incentives here is the same as with the checkout abandonment. If you lead with a discount every time, you are training your audience to abandon carts on purpose just to wait for the offer. The second email sent around 24 hours later starts to work on hesitation. Maybe they are comparing options, maybe they are not sure the product is the right one for them. This email adds a bit of context, a review, a product detail they might have missed, something that tips the scale without feeling like a push. Most stores send one email, maybe two, and both of them are just saying, hey, you forgot something. This is not a sequence. A nudge without a system behind it recovers the easy ones and loses everyone else. And the third email is the last shot. You can send that 48 to 72 hours later. If you're going to offer a discount anywhere in this flow, this is the right place. By now, the people who were coming back easily have already come back. Typically, a well-structured 3-email cart flow recovers somewhere between 5 and 15% of abandoned carts, which on a store doing real volume adds up fast. Now let's create an abandoned cart flow. You're gonna just go again to cart abandonment. I'm gonna have the abandoned cart option. I'm gonna click on that. This email should remind them about the cart they left behind and a link to it. So we'll assume that the customer is shopping online at a certain hour. We want to send an email at around the same time next day. And in this email, you're gonna try to remove hesitation. So you're gonna go in here and you're gonna change the copy to achieve that. You can add reviews or details they might have missed, anything that would support a decision. Then email number 3 after 48 hours. So I'm gonna change this to 48 over here. I'm gonna send another email, and this email will be our final attempt, and we want to add an offer or a discount here. Now I'll just save the flow, and that's it. Recovering someone who almost bought something from you is one thing. What about someone who already did buy? This is where the next flow comes in, and most stores completely ignore it. The post-purchase upsell flow is where most stores completely stop paying attention. Someone just bought, the sale is done, and that is exactly why this is the right moment to sell again. A customer who just completed a purchase is in the highest trust state they will ever be with your brand. They made a decision, they followed through, and if the product delivers, that trust compounds. The upsell flow exists to catch that window before it closes. The first email goes out around 7 days after the order, not immediately because the product probably has not arrived yet, and pushing another sale before someone even receives the first one feels kind of off. This email is warm, not salesy. It acknowledges the purchase, maybe sets an expectation about what they will experience, and then introduces something complementary. The goal is to feel like a helpful recommendation, not a follow-up ad. The second email a few days later is more direct. A bestseller they have not bought, a bundle that pairs well with what they ordered, a reason to come back. This one is allowed to have a soft offer or an incentive because the relationship has had a few more days to build. Most stores treat post-purchase emails just as an order confirmation and then nothing. No follow-up, no recommendation, no reason to come back. That's a customer who bought once and then forgot you existed. The second purchase is where the profit usually starts. Acquisition costs are already paid, and according to a Brain and Company research, repeat customers spend 67% more than first-time buyers. Now let's create a post-purchase upsell flow, and to do that, I'm gonna go here and I'm gonna go to post-purchase and I'm gonna select cross-sell. Once I open this editor, I'm gonna be able to edit the delays. After 7 days, I am going to send this email out, and in this email I want to be helpful, I want to set expectations, and I want to suggest a complementary product. Now to schedule a different email, I'm gonna go here and I'm gonna add a delay at the bottom right there, and I want to set this to 3 days, and underneath that I'm gonna send an email and I'm gonna place that right there. And inside this email, so the subject line, the copy I'm gonna use is going to recommend different other products. I'd want to recommend here bundles that I might have, best sellers, and also if you want, you can add a discount code or an offer. But there is another post-purchase email that most stores send but almost nobody gets right, and it is simpler than you think. The post-purchase thank you flow is not about saying thank you. That sounds obvious, but most stores get this wrong. They send a warm generic thank you for your order email and call it done. What this flow is actually for is making the customer feel like they made the right decision. Someone just spent money with you. In the hours after a purchase, there is always a small window for doubt. Did I overpay? Is this legit? Will it actually arrive? Your job is to close that window before it turns into a refund request or a chargeback. The first email goes right after the order is confirmed, not a receipt. That is a completely separate transactional email that you have to send. This one is warmer. It acknowledges the purchase, reinforces why the product is worth it, maybe shares what to expect when it arrives. Its job is to replace doubt with confidence. A customer who feels good about the purchase is far less likely to cancel and far more likely to come back. The second email goes out around the time the product arrives or shortly after. This one asks how they are getting on, maybe shares a tip for how to use the product or points them to a resource. Its job is to create a moment of connection at the exact point where the product experience is fresh. That is when reviews happen, that is when referrals happen. Stores that do this well see meaningful higher review rates and lower refund rates, both of which directly affects the profit. One fewer refund per day on a $50 product is over $18,000 a year. Now to create a proper post-purchase thank you flow, you're gonna head here to create flow. You'll go back to post-purchase. And in here, you can use either a cross-sell template, or if you want, you can go to build loyalty here. And you can also use a product reviews template. Doesn't matter, all you have to do is set two emails. The first one is to reassure the customer that they made the right decision. And the second one is to try to get those reviews in once the product has arrived. Some customers will buy, feel great, and then just go quiet for months. The next flow is built specifically to bring those people back. The win-back flow targets customers who bought from you once, maybe twice, and then just went quiet. No recent opens, no purchases, just silence. Most stores ignore these people completely. And that is a mistake because these are not cold leads. They already know you, they already bought from you, and reactivating them costs a fraction of what it takes to find someone new. The first email goes out after a defined inactivity window, typically 60 or 90 days without a purchase. Its job is not to sell, it's just to get attention. A subject line that acknowledges the gap, something that feels human rather than automated, works better here than a product push. You're trying to trigger a reaction, curiosity, nostalgia, even mild guilt, just enough to get the open. Then the second email a few days later brings something more concrete, a new product, a bestseller they have not tried, or a time-limited offer. Now you're giving them a reason to act, not just a reason to look. The first email opens the door, this one asks them to walk right through. Then the third email is the last one. If they have not responded by now, this is your final ask before you stop emailing altogether. A straightforward offer, clean and direct. Some stores add a soft, "We will stop sending you emails if this is not relevant anymore." This line actually increases clicks because it creates a small sense of urgency, and the industry data puts the win-back flow conversions at around 2 to 3% of the dormant segment, which sounds small until you realize most stores have thousands of people sitting in that list doing nothing. To set up a win-back flow, you're gonna head to recover visitors. The win-back flow should have 3 emails, one after a while the customer didn't interact with your emails. You set that between 60 and 90 days of inactivity to try to re-engage them. The second one with a product or offer, and the third one with a more clear offer so the customer know that you want to get them back. This next flow works differently from all the others. It catches people before they even make a decision. The browse abandonment flow is the last one on this list for a reason. It targets the lowest intent visitor of all 7 flows. Someone who looked at a product page and left without doing anything else. No cart, no checkout, just a visit. That does not mean it's not worth running, but you need to understand what it actually is before you set it up. First, the technical reality. This flow can only reach people your platform already has an email for. The flow works by tracking product page views from known contacts, existing subscribers, or past customers, and triggering an email when they browse without buying. Platforms like Omnisend handles this through cookie-based tracking, which widens the reachable pool, but it's still a smaller audience than the other flows. The email itself is simple. One email sent within a few hours from the visit. Its job is a soft reminder. You looked at this is still here, no pressure, no discount, just a gentle nudge that puts the product back in front of them while it's still fresh. The psychology here is recency. The longer you wait, the less relevant it becomes. Most stores either skip this entirely or overthink it with long copy and aggressive offers. One clean email with a product image, a short line, and a direct link is enough. In terms of impact, this flow typically generates lower revenue per recipient than the abandonment flows, but for a store with decent traffic and a reasonable list size, it recovers visitors who would otherwise disappear with 0 follow-ups. To set up a browse abandonment flow, you just filter for that. And from these emails over here, I would just use the first one. I would just send a soft reminder email with no discount code just to try to get their attention again. Build the other 6 first, and then when those are running, this one is a clean addition that requires almost no maintenance. And now that your email flows are set up and running, the next thing worth looking at is what happens when those emails actually bring someone back to your store. Because if your product page is not converting, the flows don't matter. I broke down exactly how a product page doing $25 million a month is built and what you can copy from it. That video is right here. Click it and I'll see you there.